All right, traders, welcome on back here this Thursday, September 18th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern, though. Great to see Roberto, William, Bill, I should always say, Dominic. You got Thomas Alvis just wrote here, Rowett, one of our trial members, just joining us here. Bell did really nicely on the lace trade, I'd imagine, there herself. And Prem Kumar did pretty nicely himself. He got it about like 60 cents a share. Great to see all of our students, though, just rejoining our trading room. Phil included, Leda is always included. I'll catch you on the simulcast later. Farzad as well. Listen, I have been pretty busy today, just between audio, coaching. Actually, my guy Rich is out, so he always does a lot of the handiwork for me when I'm doing private coaching with you, and he's out. And not only that, it's Fausto's birthday. He's out. Happy birthday once more, Fausto, the man. But otherwise, they left me stranded here, guys. And on top of that, actually, I was supposed to do a workshop on Bookmap's YouTube channel. That'll be actually rescheduled to tomorrow. They were running late anyway, just with one of their presentations. So actually pretty timely, pretty convenient there at least. But going into the close, listen, we're doing pretty good across the board on a number of different trades. Let me actually exit the Discord there from Bookmap. There you go. All right. So Dominic just called out the QS trade. This was called out earlier, I think. Lynn and Randy and a couple of other members here were focused on it. Nice tradable stock. This was just one of like 100 different trades we were looking at this point. So we weren't on top of this early, but we're on top of it now. So going into the close, I'll just put this on our watch list to begin. Where was my? There we go. All right, here we go. QS. Now here's the thing though, QuantumScape, right? Quantum. This is just where across the board, all these quantum stocks have been doing great this whole week. IO and Q's on our watch list earlier on today, just kind of coiling up right now, not doing as much. But just going across the board though, Rigetti, all-time highs, going right back on our watch list. QUBT, is this the next one? Maybe. It's kind of coiling up. If it breaks over 19, possibly. If you want to focus on it, go ahead. It's tradable. I want to focus on the best looking ones, though. We got a cherry pick at this point already with how much there is to take out there. So the QuantumScape will add, the QBTS trade will add here, another stock like Rigetti that's just at all-time highs. And, well, like I just said, the aforementioned Rigetti. Let's see what else we got here, though. There should be a scanner behind my platform, though. No, not there. Somewhere around here. My thing's a hot mess right now today. Geez, this is a hot list. Holy shit. Where do I have my scanner right now for you guys? 1 second. Him for Clemtier. Give me a moment. Like I told you, I'm juggling 18 things at once. So here we go. Here's our scanner. Now, what we'll just do is recap what we had traded from the early morning because at this point there was so much to discuss. I forgot what I had to eat for breakfast this morning. We'll just go right down the list. So BREA, I didn't really show this one too much inside our live trading room. Our students did well on it. Chuck, you did really well on it. A couple of our students were looking at it here and there, but we know that this was just the shiny object in the room, right? That's why not many of us were yip-yapping about it because, listen, unless if you're a category 4 or 5 trader, probably just 5, a few of us, probably a handful or maybe 2 of us inside our live trading room, then I'd rather us focus on stocks that have better liquidity. So it popped, it dropped, it moved back up a little bit here, but there's just easier fish to catch out there. Now, on the flip side of that, literally, this is just untradeable. It's just sideways moving and it's buyout. So we're actually not going to put it on our list for that reason. But that takes us back towards more tradable stocks that we were focused on here more so. So CDLX, we were on top of early here from 10:30 in the morning. Pretty much after we had finished up the audio commentary, I was a little late to the halt, but called it out right at 10:35. Now, what's interesting about this trade, and I was going to go over this in Bookmap, actually. We'll try and save the juicy stuff for tomorrow. All the good information, we'll do that tomorrow. Again, on YouTube's Bookmap channel. Hey, we also got class tomorrow if you're a student here inside our trading room. If you have access to the Phase 1 stock course, practically I see like all of our members here live right now. Bill, Farzad, Dennis, Leda, Dave, Dom, Phil, you know who you are. You have access to the Phase 1 course. We're actually doing a full-blown class from A to Z on Bookmap. So, hey, I'll tell you there too. But going into the close, this held support. It pushed back up and above resistance here. Actually, so much so right now, the last call out that I made on CDLX, well, second to last call out I made on CDLX, give me a moment here. I'll show you. And Dave, I know you were watching this just before here a moment ago. You chatted back to us here inside our room. But this is where I was telling you. CDLX is back over pre-market levels, right around 250, 255. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? Because if it keeps knocking on that door, not only should it blast through it, but at the bare min, you'd want to see it try and build support there, right? You'd try and see if it could build that support right there. And that's what we're getting now at this stage. So, yeah, absolutely going into the close. We're going to put this back on our watch list now. The CDLX stock, good order book, good liquidity. All right. Now, again, I'm going to save all the good information, all the juicy details, all the nice information that you want to hear for class tomorrow for Bookmap Workshop. Again, just make sure to subscribe not only to our YouTube account down below, lower left, if you're on social media here today, at Cyber Trading You. If you're on, a student inside our room, trust me, we hassle you enough to subscribe. So we appreciate you anyway. But either way, though, we're going to just save all that good stuff going into tomorrow's classes. But let me ask our members here, Bill, Farzad, Dennis, Dom. We have some other names here just joining us right now. I see Wiz. Wiz, good evening to you, joining us from Prague, I believe, right? Yehuda from Miami. You got Roberto from Colombia. Michael from Mike from Maryland. Kevin from Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out Dustin Poirier. Who ended up jumping into this Lace trade earlier today? LASE. Lace. Who jumped into this Lace stock earlier today? I know Bell did. Anyone jump into this one from before? Lita, Kevin. Oh, there you go. We got a few of us here. See, whenever I shout out names, I don't know if you're here or not, honestly. Might have just kind of kept this on in the background, right? But there we go. We got Wiz here. We got Kevin here. We got Bell here. That's awesome. Excellent. Dom, there you go. A bunch of us from earlier today. This was such a nice move. Still in on a quarter amount of my position, but I don't give a shit at this point because it was just ended up just taking good profits on the way up. And at this stage, the last quarter of it is just for fun. We're having some responsible fun, as I like to tell you. And going into the close, is it possible for this to make one more push? It is. I'm hopeful, but here's why I think it's not as likely. When you look at this long-term graph, look at the upper trend line now, basically off these highs, knocked right on that door, right back down. So if it wants to make that breakout, this may be a day-to-day operation thing. This may go into next week. I'm not going to swing trade this thing. So if it doesn't miraculously get the job done today, then at that point we'll kind of just bail out on it. All right, folks, let's keep going through, though, here. The Lace trade we'll come back to. If it pops during this meeting, we'll put it on our list. We'll kind of be more convinced at that point. But those were the main movers. This AIIO, EIEIO, it's a robotics company, robo.ai. That's a pretty catchy name. It is breaking over the highs from like the last few days, from last week into this week. Kind of interesting. Got a good order book, good spread, but you do have resistance here at 260. A little flat right now too, so a little slow. Not really doing as much right now. Real quickly, folks. Yeah, no, I'm good to go here, Tim. Let me just tell him 1 second here, folks. There we go. So when I tell you if I know it's me or not, that's how I could tell, because I'd have more than one student just saying that there, right? Also, I could tell separately, but we are good to go. Just told Tim to log out, log back in. He'll be good. QSI, another quantum stock, huh? This thing is like slow. This thing is like watching the grass grow here itself, right? I feel like we'll focus on other trades for the time being. Just a little too slow for my blood. NTLA, maybe. This thing is a little slow here, but it is breaking higher back from the end of July. Still could be more room here on this squeeze up over time. So this could be a good swing trade over time as well, not even just a day trade. I'll add it. NTLA. Oh, go back to capital letters there. All right, let's keep moving along. LWLG, flat. A lot of stocks are up today. So we're going to have to kind of go through this with a fine-tooth comb, just kind of see which ones are worth our time the most, which ones have good volume. HIMZ's up a lot, which means HIMS itself is up a lot as well. So we'll add a HIMS, HIMS, probably one of a few different, familiar names, larger cap stocks. Now, the thing with Intel is that this is such a large cap company, or in terms of the float or outstanding shares, rather, I should say. That's what I mean. But the stock has such a high float, such a high number of outstanding shares. You need extreme volatility to push this. So it had a great pop in pre-market because there weren't as many orders out there. But this thing has been dropping. First off, today it's been pulling back. People taking profits. I mean, a lot of people are probably been waiting years for like 22% pop, let alone more in pre-market. So you take the money and run here and there, but otherwise this thing's pretty damn slow. It's not going to be nearly worth our time. FIGR figure, new IPO, right? Not the one I'm thinking about though, right? I think the one I'm thinking about is Figure AI, Figure Robotics. That's going to be a huge company over time. I don't think that's this one here. That's a different company, but nice move so far. We don't really trade IPOs too much because they mostly tank. So HUMA is going up pretty nicely. Nice little move. Nice little cute move. Actually building a great Fausto flag. This is pretty textbook Fausto flag, if I say so myself. So I will add this to our watch list. It is more of a category 1 or 2 trade. Doesn't really have extreme orders out there, which means it's not necessarily going to be like watching the grass grow. But it will be like kind of a category 1, maybe at most a 2. Now here we get to the mining stocks, the Bitcoin mining stocks, right? So Bitcoin's pushed up a little bit, back up overnight. Still at resistance, though. I'm not fully convinced it's going to make that cleaner breakout just yet. But with that said, though, a lot of the mining stocks are having their day in the sun, as I say. I say that all the time. These mining stocks don't perform nearly as good compared to Bitcoin, but they'll have their day in the sun. So Mara's up 10%. That's incredible, right? CLSK is up 18%. Bitfarms was hot yesterday. It's still up 7% today from the close. So a lot of those trades are doing pretty well. Now, they never run really into the market close. From this point, from 2:42 p.m. Eastern going into 4 p.m. Eastern, they rarely ever run. Actually, I want to shout out, I think it was the day on Tuesday. This Tuesday, they like power walked into the close. It wasn't a run. I'm not going to call that a run. They kind of power walked. Probably one of the better moves I've seen them make for an afternoon in quite some time. I'm not expecting them to make this miraculous like dollar pop, $2. It's not happening. Maybe over time as a swing, but all right, let's see what else we got here though. And the reason I say that, like kind of with emphasis, is because I don't want us to waste our time on things that just aren't going to make that push. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of upset I just missed this here. Not just, but like from earlier, I kind of missed out on this trade. The donut, I didn't have an order set up to buy this, and I thought I did have an order to buy this. Maybe I pulled it. But the whole news with Donut, Krispy Kreme, Cash Patel ended up buying it, and he had to disclose that, I think, in a hearing, right? So that's not the only reason why it moved up. The reason it moved up is because people bought it, not just Cash Patel. It's because the market reacted positively off of it. So, I'm not just jumping in because he bought, but I'm jumping in because it rebroke resistance at 350. And from there, it ran up pretty nicely. So over 350 was going to be my spot. But a nice trade, nice category 1 stock also. Don't need to trade the shiny object in the room to make money. Just need to trade like the sweet jelly-filled donut to make money. All right. Before I get the tomatoes thrown at me here. It's always me and my bad jokes. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's see what else we got. Bullish, we'll call it, IPO. So this is why we don't trade IPOs. This thing went to shit. It's going back up a little bit now. I think this is a Bitcoin or digital asset related company. I don't really have too much focus on that for right now. On a day where we got to pick and choose our battles, let's pick and choose our battles there. This BW is pretty interesting. Wow, this is a nice move. Surely it's not going to go up that high. No way. Maybe kind of make a move like this off these highs, perhaps. That would be pretty compelling on a swing trade basis there. You know what, though? Either way, for the afternoon, you know what? We haven't really focused too much on this BW of much day to day, week to week. I don't think this has really been on our watch list. I'll add it, give it a look. That's what it's all about. RR, I like this as a swing trade idea. I'm not going to put it on our list for the afternoon. It's just dragging down now, but keep an eye on that over time. Saw a cool YouTube video or video on social media with them. And remember, that's not the only reason that you buy the damn stock. You buy the stock because it's trying to break back up towards highs. It's trying to flip resistance into support. That's what you're looking for there. But just going back towards our gainers list, listen, this is a day where number 100 is technically up 6%. Number 100. So pretty crazy, right? Oscar, I did call out earlier here. I think it was off of these highs even too. So I forgot about a couple trades from earlier. Oscar being one of them also. You know what? I'm going to re-add Oscar to our watch list now for the afternoon. This is not a great swing trade yet. It could be a great swing trade over time. So just keep an eye on this too over time. You know, still building lower highs, but QUBT kind of coming back up. Oh, I got to go the other way. Let's see what else we got here. GoPro dragged back down. AMPX flat. Hertz too slow. VKTX going up nicely. Actually, shit, I forgot this was like $25 a share. I thought this was back around like the 90s still. Oh my god, you forgot you forget to take your eyes off a trade for a little while. So the VKTX, you know what, easily enough, nice move, decent enough order book. Put this on our list for now. This has high short float potential here. So if this is going to be a short squeeze to where part of this gap gets filled, I'd be here to see that. All right. You know what? That's kind of good for now. Now, if there's anything else that looks good, you let me know. I see other, students just in our room right now. Shout out some other names here. It's you got Brian B, you got Brian W, and Brian B. You got Genevieve, you got Jeff, you got Frank S joining us, as always from Toronto. You got Alex, chatted with you earlier this week. Alex, I hope you're doing good on Soon. SOUN. SOUN. There we go. Nice, push back up on that trade. So that's been rocking and rolling. But a lot of us here just joining us right now inside our live room. Let's hop over to the loser side right now, though. See if there's anything looking good from there. REPL, just dead. ATCH down. You knew this was going to happen. Knew that was going to happen, right? Because we see it happen to all these other trades. You might get a nice pop on Bitcoin, I think, in the next like 5-10 minutes. I think it's setting up for a little move here over time. We'll see if it's going to flip resistance into support long term. That I'm still pretty wary of. I'm not really too sure of that happening. But yeah, not a whole lot really here from the loser side that I like, that I see here that looks great. I mean, the mining stocks are doing good generally speaking. Cypher's down a bit here today. I don't know if news came out on that. You know what? I'm going to add CIFR. I'll add this to our watch list specifically because if the markets plunge down into the afternoon by chance, then this could be a great short. Otherwise, though, perhaps we see another higher low build, get a slingshot back up into the afternoon then. It can go both ways. So I'll add CIFR. All right, inside our live trading room briefly here. Rohit, one of our trial members, just asking, what are category 1, category 2? I think like hurricanes. Like, I'm down here in Southwest Florida. Hopefully we don't have a hurricane coming soon, but I think they're prepping something there. But basically category 1, not as volatile. Category 5, going to blow the ceiling off, right? That's basically how we categorize them, but there's more to it. There's nuances between level 1, category 1 and 2, category 2 and 3, etc. We take time in class to cover that. Yeah, Mike actually got both of those on our list there already. Actually, great shout on both. We already took care of both at least. But yeah, interesting graphs. I like the hymns a little bit more in terms of strength. Oscar not there just yet on the swing side, but you never know, right? I mean, we see great day trades turn into great swing trades always. So Leda, as always, appreciate you on the YouTubes. Anything else? Did a good job scanning. If there is anything else looking good, though, that I didn't look at here, let me know. This is the EIEIO stock. I'm going to be done with my dad jokes there. But, this robotics company, right? Nice little push back up here above the highs from earlier this week. I don't mind adding this to our list. Give it a look. It's testing a resistance here at 266 right now. It popped back up there. SoFi from Roberto. Yeah, let me take a look at a couple of those trades, right? SoFi is just an incredible swing trade. So we always like SoFi, even if we don't put it on our main list. A, it's always going to have a penny spread. B, it's on a great move up. So let me ask anyone in on SoFi as a swing trade. And even as a day trade, if you got in this morning, you're killing it. But anyone in on a swing trade on SoFi right now? Bill, you're in on it? Cool. That's always good to know. See who's in, right? Michael, you're in on it. Excellent. Bill's in on a day trade. There we go. So if I don't put it on our list here, just realize that, SoFi is a great trade. It's always a nice stock, especially, I will say, the more expensive it gets, the more volatile it should become. Now, normally that sounds like a scary thing. With this is going to be an incredible thing. This will start making a much better move that's more worth like our time collectively. And I say that as a day trade day to day. Back when this was like a $15 stock, this was like watching the paint dry on a regular. So it's become a lot more lively of a move, let alone going upward in direction. But and when this becomes a $35 stock, it's still going to be 100% tradable. It's like Palantir. It's like AMD. It's one of those trades when it probably gets in the hundreds, it'll still have a penny spread. All right. All right. So I think that's pretty much it, folks. Even if I don't put this on our list, nice stock to look at here as a swing. Run the gainers list one more time. Look at this. I'm getting stocks looking like that. That's kind of my cue, my signal wrap up, right? ORBS, the former Octo trade that went up 5,000%. Pass. Yeah, you know what? I have an idea. Give me a sec here. You can't see me do this technically, I reckon, but I'm just going to tell you right now. Screw it. I'm going to buy leveraged position on Bitcoin for right now. Now, with that said, it's a day trade, so I'm expecting a short-term pop on Bitcoin in the coming moments. So I ended up buying it. We're going to see if we can get like a nice little pop on Bitcoin here over the next 10, 20, 30 minutes. Now, does that mean those mining stocks are going to run? No. They might like inch up. They might inch up slowly into the close if I'm right with this, thought. But otherwise, probably have focus maybe even on a Robinhood. It's holding support. Maybe this can get the rub and get a nice bounce back up into the afternoon. Circle's been really strong. Look at this. Circle right back on up, actually. So before we finish up, maybe actually, if I'm correct with this, then perhaps we kind of add Circle and more specifically, this is the ETF for it. I shouted that out earlier to you here. CRCG. Let's do that. I like that there. It's a good game plan. COIW? Which one's that? Oh, Coinbase? Yeah, to each their own, right? Because I don't want you to get a different vibe or thought here. The dividend stocks pay out, especially if it's weekly, it's probably better. But, I've learned my lesson on those trades with BITO, which is a higher paid dividend, but not off like option income like the yield max ones are. The point being is that these don't relate too well compared to the spot price of a stock. Like for Bitcoin, this is not Bitcoin spot price. Big difference between this graph and IBIT, right? So it's just a difference of perspective, might I say, right? Because if you're collecting dividend weekly and it's worth the time, then all the more to you. But I'm just so used to seeing ETF go up with spot price. So when it's not, to me personally, that's like kind of a red flag. It's like kind of scary, right? Thought on EOS. I love EOS, Hassan. Actually, I know that you're a trial member, so you're kind of like brand new, just testing our room out for this week. Hope you're enjoying. It was like a week or two ago, guys. What was it? Like we were all over this EOS. I was kind of cheerleading this on from like $7 at the time, and we were discussing the possibility behind this being a great swing trade. So, that's actually another one of those stocks that slipped past my memory for a day or two, and it kind of cost me. Kind of cost me there because it didn't really pull back too much afterwards. It kind of just pushed up from 7. Now we're at 9. So really nice move, actually. It's up 6% actually. Shit, I might as well add this to our watch list, right? So I don't forget about it going forward. It's like kind of one of those trades, right? All right, I'll add it. Has good order book, good volume. So you know what? Now, before I like add every other stock under the sun to our watch list, guys, right? Because I could probably do that. Listen, we're going to finish up for right now. If you're inside our live trading room, give me a quick moment. I'm going to jump back on in 10 minutes. Probably, you know what? Let me recharge the mouth for a second there. Give me till 3:10. Give me about 15 minutes. I'll be back on at 3:10 Eastern. I'll be back on taking you into the close. Then if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., hey, we just had our live workshop with Fausto earlier today. If you had missed out on that, that's on our YouTube. That's on our social media as well. But we do those each and every week. So if you wanted to subscribe and just join our next live workshop, just go right here. Just scan this QR code and right down below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on X, if you're on social media, ct.co/free. That'll be next week. We'll have our next live event next week. That will be at least on Thursday. But otherwise, taking us into the close, you got to join us inside our live trading room for that. So just go right down to the link scrolling down below in the bottom in blue, ct.co/trial. And then otherwise, again, folks, we'll be back on in just about 15 or so minutes. Around 3:10, I'll be back on. I'll talk to you then.